You feel that? The excitement?
Yes.
It's in the air. Hey, everybody.
Hi.
I'm Jeremy Parsons. Great to see you.
And I'm Janine Rubenstein. Welcome to the biggest night in music.
Yes, it is a huge night for music. The 63rd Annual Grammy Awards are less than 2 hours away. I think that definitely calls for a celebration. We'll see how this goes with this little bottle of bubbly, but go ahead. You should talk while I try to do this.
After an unprecedented year, some of the biggest stars in music will be taking the stage from multiple locations, including the Los Angeles Convention Center. How are we feeling?
You ready? 3, 2. Woo!
I'm surprised he could do it. You haven't been working out for a while.
I know, right? It's a COVID hasn't been those COVID at-home workouts. Didn't know if I had it in me. And here we go. Little for you. There's going to,
more,
look. Oh, you want some more? Don't worry, I'll have the refill over here.
Okay.
But look, tonight's going to be a huge night. Obviously, a lot going on in LA. We've got like a crossover virtual event going here. We're excited for it. We're going to be talking to some artists live.
Yes.
We're going to find out what the show's going to look like. You ready for this?
Okay.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to a great Grammys night. Feeling good for sure. Great music from the last year is going to be celebrated, and there's so much of it. And already Beyonce, Billie Eilish, Lady Gaga, and Ariana Grande are winners. We've got a huge list of performers that are going to be taking the stage tonight. Very excited for that. Taylor Swift, Chris Martin, Cardi B, Miranda Lambert, Bad Bunny, John Mayer, Post Malone, Dua Lipa, Harry Styles, Mickey Guyton, BTS. Who's not? I mean, honestly, like it's a huge group that we're going to see performing. And we were talking about this. Don't you feel like tonight's performances are going to be heavy, emotional? Like there's going to be a lot of showmanship, but a lot of heart.
Yes, I think that it's going to be all over the place because we literally haven't had performances like this. We have not had live music, live performance.
Right.
So you better bring your A game.
Sure.
I'm charging everyone to just give us what we've been missing for the last 365.
For sure, for sure.
And one performance I cannot wait to see tonight is Maren Morris, joined by 7-time Grammy winner John Mayer on guitar.
I like this combination. There's been so much buzz about this one since it was announced this week. Really excited to see their styles come together, see what they've kind of, put together the special for tonight's show.
Oh, this guy Jeremy caught up with Maren earlier to ask all about the collaboration, and he also found out that Maren had a sweet partner in crime as she prepared for this week.
Hey guys, Maren Morris is with us. Very excited to have you here. Maren, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Weird Grammys, but so far so good. I'm excited to perform.
Talk to me about how important it is, what, I don't know, special feeling might surround a nomination this year, particularly.
Well, I think people have been at home and they've been listening to music more than ever. Like I have absolutely been listening to more music. And if you can't go to shows, I feel like music has been just such a therapy when you're stuck inside for a year of your life. And I think that the Grammys is sort of the crystallization of a year of just enjoying music from indoors. And so I think, it's so great that they're doing it safely and we can do it still in person and give a great live performance of these songs. But no, I'm honored to be a part of it. I feel like the Bones has taken on such a life of its own meaning-wise during the pandemic. And so to kind of solidify it here at the Grammys with a performance will be really special.
I agree with you. That song particularly has resonated for so many people as, relationships are strained and people have gone through a lot for sure over the past year. What can you tell us about your performance?
I'm so excited to sort of be in this round with my friends Miranda Lambert and Mickey Guyton, who are also nominated, and this is Mickey's first year being nominated. And I am performing the Bones with my friend playing guitar, John Mayer. So it's going to be just a really beautiful performance, and he adds so much to it. Obviously, he's John, but now I'm so gracious to him that he is sitting in with us tonight.
How would you sum up working with John Mayer and collaborating? What's something we'd be surprised to know about him?
I mean, he's just smart as a whip. He is also really, really thoughtful, and he internalizes every other word he says. I feel like it's kind of adorable. But no, he's just been so respectful and complimentary to my music over the years that, and we actually met here at the Grammys a couple years back. So for, him to join us on the Bones here again at the Grammys feels kind of kismet.
And recently, you teamed up with your husband, Ryan Hurd, for a song, Chasing After You. I know you guys have worked together before, but why was this duet and doing that with him? Why was that particularly special?
Well, the song is special to us. We didn't write it, our friends wrote it. And, you know, me and Ryan both being songwriters, not having written a song, we must have loved it a pretty good amount because we write most of our music. And so I just think it was one of those special songs that we would be dumb to pass up. And we just really heard ourselves in it. And I've wanted to do a duet with Ryan for so long. We've collaborated in the past on each other's records, but not in this particular way. So it was just time.
Yeah, maybe more of the two of you together?
Yeah, I was like, maybe we'll do this like soul to soul thing someday, like Tim and Faith. We'll see.
There you go. Hey, it makes sense.
We'll see how this goes.
Quickly, you're working on your third album. How's that going? What can you tell us about it?
It's been wonderful to not have a deadline. I feel like working with Greg Kirsten again as producer has just brought so much out of me that I didn't know was there, and in some way has brought me back to my roots. So it's like very Southern feeling, and I don't know, it's almost like rock sounding at this point. Like maybe that's Greg's element, but the songwriting is still very rooted in country music and storytelling, and you know, it's still in the process of being made. So I'll probably have a better answer for you in a few months, but there's no rush. I'm just enjoying figuring out what this weird ass sound is.
Well, we can't wait. I'm very intrigued now. Hey, by the way, and people, of course, we're following along with your mom life. Know that first birthday is kind of coming up. Wonder if you're going to celebrate and if there have been any big milestones lately, like crawling or a favorite food, any first words?
Yeah, we're about to celebrate his first birthday. Obviously, we're going to have a very like just family oriented party. We can't do the full like invitation thing, but we're going to have a theme. Like I think we want to do Peter Rabbit because that's the book I read to him since he was a newborn. And yeah, I mean, he's crawling. He's so close to walking, but I'm not in any rush on that either because I'll be chasing him around even more. But no, he's actually out here with me in LA. He's my co-pilot for the Grammy Week festivities. So that's such a cool first for me as well as a new mom, but he's just perfection.
Have you guys have any running bets if he's going to say mama or dada first?
Well, he said both.
Oh, has he? Okay.
I will stand on the hill and say he said mama first.
Very good. Hey, we really appreciate you taking time today. Congrats on everything.
Thank you so much. Good to see you again.
You too. It was great to see her. Aww. She was dressed, looked amazing. I apparently was in sweats. Cool. No big deal. Hey, should we talk about Ricky Martin?
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's do it. Latin superstar, Ricky Martin. He is no stranger to the Grammys.
Not at all.
The man's been around. He's got great music for generations now, basically. He won his first award back in 1999. That was for Best Latin Pop Performance. Look at these photos, a little throwback action here.
Oh, yeah.
Love that.
Deep V.
The deep V. He could rock it.
Yeah, he could. Ricky went on to be named the Latin Recording Academy's Person of the Year in 2006, then won another Grammy Award in 2016 for Best Latin Pop Album. And this year, he's up for Best Latin Pop or Urban Album.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on. He's a busy man. Ricky actually told us why this year's nomination means so much to him. Watch.
I got the Latin Grammy for Pausa, and I was, you know, in a pretty intense celebratory mode. And then a couple of weeks later, I received a phone call. Hey, Rick, you've been nominated for the Anglo Grammy. What? Vamos cambiar de casa, vamos un mes de viaje, hablemos otro idioma, bésame aquí en la calle. I went ballistic. What can I say? My entire family went crazy because of what it means to me, because I was able to talk and work with people that I love and people that I respect and I admire, like Sting, like Carla Morrison, someone that I respect so much, and Bad Bunny, and it was just beautiful to be able to walk into the studio and just be yourself and talk about the things that you want to share with the world. This album really became my medicine at a certain moment because I was really anxious. The uncertainty of not knowing what was going to happen, having to cancel a tour. People were telling me, Ricky, you're never going to be able to go back on stage. I mean, these are the things that were throwing at us, you know? So I believe that this album, Pausa, became my balance. And the lyrics, the message, the stories that we're telling are so relevant. And they're also very spiritual. And I guess, you know, we're all now in this spiritual journey. We've been forced to really you know, find that space for us to be in touch with our emotions and everything. So it's been really, really beautiful. And then to get nominated in such a special time, you know, every nomination is important. When the Academy tells you, hey man, congratulations, the industry is telling you you're doing a good job. But this feels a little bit more special. I guess because it's a special year. and where I'm at, I guess, you know, it just felt differently, and I'm very happy.
Nice.
So happy for him. The staying power of that man. But he also looks like it's still 1999.
He's ageless, right?
Is it 1999?
Yeah, right.
Pop superstar Dua Lipa had us dancing all year long, and she was brought to tears when she heard she earned 6 Grammy nominations this year. Take a look.
Oh my God, you were joking. I love you, thank you so much. Oh my God, 6 nominations.
So good. You know what? I love how raw that moment is and how real it is. I spoke to her just a few months ago, and you could tell she's really enjoying the ride that she's on. And she's been giving us so much through the pandemic.
I'm such a fan.
Right?
Oh my goodness. Like, without her album during last year, it just brought the levity that I needed. I didn't know I was a disco fan.
It turns out, right? No, it was the theme music from my sad little at-home solo dance parties, but it was still there. She was there in spirit. Dua obviously also took home her first 2 Grammys in 2019. That was for Best New Artist and Best Dance Recording. This year, her 6 nominations include Album of the Year, Best Pop Vocal Album for Future Nostalgia, which we're loving, of course, as we said.
Loved
Can't
it.
say it enough. Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Best Pop Solo Performance. That's, of course, for Don't Start Now, which we can't stop singing.
Entertainment Weekly's senior editor, Jared Hall, spoke to Dua Lipa backstage during Grammys week, and she geared up for the big night, and she told us all about it, so listen to that.
I feel like I should be that Jonah Hill gif right now from Get Him to the Greek, where he's just screaming, because I'm so excited to be talking to right now the 2019 Best New Artist winner and my personal 2020 Entertainer of the Year, Dua Lipa. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing? Thank you for that very sweet introduction. I appreciate it.
Of course, I'm very well and so excited to be speaking with you. It's kind of crazy to think Future Nostalgia was released almost a year ago. I've got my pink jacket on in honor of the album cover. It's back there somewhere. But then, of course, like right around that time, the pandemic halted everything. You couldn't tour with it. But thank you very much for doing that virtual concert that we all love so much. But that aside, how did the fact that, you know, you couldn't go on tour, you couldn't interact with fans in the normal way, how did all of that change the way that you experienced the success of Future Nostalgia and the fan reaction to it?
Well, I almost feel like, to a certain extent, because I was at home and not like touring or doing all this work, that I really got to like take it all in and like really feel the response from everyone around and really hear people's, you know, what they thought of the record, and it just meant so much to me. I never thought this would happen in a million years, that I would be promoting my record from my sofa or like setting up green screens in my living room. But I do feel like I've learned so much, I've grown so much, I've been thinking outside the box. I just didn't let it stop me from trying to come up with interesting ways to like create new dimensions for this record and still make it fun for everyone at home.
This, of course, is a very different Grammys for everyone. How then are your nerves and emotions different this year?
I mean, any talk about the Grammys is very like, I'm very excited and there's lots of butterflies and there's so many feelings and lots of adrenaline. So I feel like that hasn't changed at all. Obviously, it's very different, and you know, just the possibility of being able to perform and everyone to get together and still do it in a safe way. It's incredible, you know, that we're able to do this. So for that, I'm just so grateful, especially during this time. So yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. And you've got the new song, We're Good. Does that mean more is on the way? Is there going to be a 2021 album?
No 2021 album, but
That's all right.
you know, I'm always thinking, so we'll see.
Yeah, as you have to. You know, I got to ask, because typically, it's a pretty big deal to be asked to be a musical guest on Saturday Night Live, which you were asked, and you did that, and it was fantastic. And then Melissa Villaseñor played you in the Dionne Warwick talk show sketch. And people, you know, always say it's like, that's when you feel like you've made it, when you've been impersonated on SNL. So what was it like seeing Dua Lipa impersonation on SNL?
It was possibly, I think, one of the coolest things that's probably happened to me. I was so excited. I was like, whoa, this is amazing. And they got the costume so right, and she was amazing. It was just brilliant. I was super happy. I was like, all right, gonna keep this one forever. I'll never forget this moment.
It is time to dish. What can we expect from your Grammys performance? Is it going to be a medley of songs, just Don't Start Now? Is it going to be We're Good? Do tell.
Got a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and we don't want to give too much away, but it's going to be fun. It's cute. We're having fun. I just hope you love it.
Okay. A little of this, a little of that. Any special guests? I'm going to try to get what I can out of you, so... I know you're trying, and I love to keep secrets, but maybe you could get something out of me. There might be someone. There might not, but there might be. Might be someone. Might be a Miley Cyrus. Oh, you, see, man, you stone cold face right there.
I know.
It's all right.
My poker face.
It's fine. I'm going to tune in regardless. So many people are going to.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No, of course. Who are you excited to see perform?
Ooh, I'm really excited to see Bad Bunny perform. I'm really excited to see DaBaby perform. I'm really excited to see, oh my God, who else? It's Taylor Swift and Harry Styles and Billie Eilish and Doja Cat and Megan Thee Stallion. Let's go. It's going to be crazy.
Love you so much. Congrats on all of the success, and have a fun Grammys.
Thank you so much. Mwah.
I'm watching tonight for her performance.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what Dua's fan army is called, but I'm in it.
You're in it.
I don't know what it is. Okay, country singer Mickey Guyton made Grammys history this year as the first Black female artist to ever receive a solo nomination in a country music category.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yep, and host of People in 10, Andrea Belke, caught up with the new mom backstage at the Grammys to get her reaction to this historic moment.
Mickey, so nice to see you. How are you feeling in this moment right now?
You know, this is all so wild and crazy. Like, my life was not this a year and a half ago, and here I am nominated for a Grammy and performing at the Grammys. I feel so grateful.
Well, you are an amazing performer. So what's in store for your performance?
I'll tell you, this is going to be such a beautiful, empowering moment for Black people in country music. I'm so grateful. It's gonna be a powerful moment for women in country music. It's such a come together moment, and I just am so grateful to be a part of it.
Speaking of that, you actually made history as the first Black female artist to get a solo nomination in a country music category. So this is a huge moment for you. And how does that feel?
I just feel it still doesn't feel real, you know, because we are kind of stuck inside our homes and we're not really able to get out that often, but it doesn't feel real. But I can tell you, I will not be the last.
Absolutely. And this is also a very crazy moment for you, because not only did you just get a Grammy nomination and it's this huge time in your life, you also had a baby a month ago. So how are you doing? Are you getting any sleep?
You know, I am. My husband took over baby duties the last 3 days to make sure I got a full 7 hours of sleep. But I still wake up at 4 a.m. when I hear him just whimper. I'm like, where is he? I just want to be near him. Being a mom is probably one of the greatest things I will ever experience.
What's been the most surprising thing about motherhood so far?
You know, birth is, that is a very, that's its own thing. That I was very surprised how much your body changes in those moments and what you go through. People don't really talk about those first 2 weeks after you've given birth. And that was very, very surprising, but it's awesome. You just look at this baby's face that you
held in your body for so long, and it's just, there's no other better feeling.
Now, your son's name is Grayson, and we've seen you post him on social media. He's so precious.
Yeah.
Are you seeing any glimpses of his personality yet?
So far, I think he's going to be a very calm, independent child. Like, he definitely likes his autonomy. He's really sweet. He likes to eat. I think he's going to be tall. He's really just a sweet, sweet baby.
Of course, he's so young, but what does it feel like for you knowing that your baby will be present to watch you perform and have this historic nomination?
Literally, he is all I think about, and he is my reason, and I'm doing all of this for him. I just want to make him proud and to make this world easier for him as he grows up and becomes a young Black man. I'm obsessed with him, if you can't tell. Like, really, really, really obsessed with him.
I can tell, and I think it's so sweet. I love it. Last thing, you are such an inspiration for so many people. What is your message to people that are trying to break into country music?
I feel like the key for us to break into country music, whether you are an artist that is successful now or an artist on your come up, is you have to hold the door open. As you're walking through that door, you have to hold that door open for future artists. This doesn't last forever. And there are power in numbers. And that is my message. I want to show Black women and women of color and women, period, that this is possible. And I'm here to help you do that. Like, this moment isn't just about me, that I want to help whoever I can bust through that door with me. Like, let's go. Let's become successful country artists, because the more that there are, the more careers, the more tours, and the more opportunities everybody can have.
I love that message. Who is someone that held the door open for you?
Reese Palmer held the door open for me. Reese Palmer is a country artist, a Black woman that's a country artist that came before me, and I saw her. And the only reason why I felt the courage to pursue country music was because I saw her. And as I was pursuing my career and not really finding much success, I realized that I have to use whatever connections that I have, and I have to bring other people with me. And so she was the girl that opened the door for me.
Well, Mickey, thank you so much. You're such an inspiration, and I always love chatting with you. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Love her story, and she is on fire.
Oh my goodness, so inspiring on so many levels.
Absolutely.
And her song Black Like Me, the message is amazing, but her voice, okay.
Yeah, no, her artistry is through the roof. It really is. She's incredible.
The Grammys are also making history this year in the Best Rock Performance category. For the first time ever, every single nominee was female or female-led band, and Fiona Apple walked away with the win earlier tonight.
Yeah, one of her fellow nominees is singer BRITTANY Howard. She's previously won 4 Grammy Awards with her band Alabama Shakes, but she took home her first solo Grammy win earlier tonight. It was for Best Rock Song. That was for Stay High.
Andrea also caught up with BRITTANY earlier backstage at the Grammys. Take a look.
BRITTANY Howard, you look incredible. How are you doing?
Well, thank you so much. I'm doing wonderful. I haven't felt this dressed up in a year.
I know. It's been a year of just wearing leggings and not seeing anybody, so it must feel very different. Congratulations on your nominations. What went through your mind when you got that call?
I was really surprised. I was really honored too. This piece of work that I made, it was quite an effort. It was quite a risk. And then I also, named it after my sister. So it felt like such a large part of me. And for it to be recognized and for me to be here with the album being nominated 5 times, for me to be here amongst friends and my peers and lots of women, I'm just, beside myself, really.
Like you said, you named the album Jamie after your sister, which I think is so special. It really resonates with me because I also lost a sister when I was younger. So when I found that out, I just thought it was such a beautiful way to remember your sister. So I think it's so special. I imagine there's been a lot of fans that reached out to you about that aspect. What has that fan reaction been like?
I've been really surprised by my fans. They've had a lot to say about a lot of different things I've talked about in my album. Even something like being biracial. You know, a woman that was in her late 50s just said, thank you for making that song, you know, because we have our experience too, especially the way she grew up. And I just never really thought about that. And I thought that was really interesting. And I don't know, I'd like to thank my fans for being so vulnerable to tell me stories about, you know, where they come from and who they are.
And something your fans definitely know is you always bring it with your performances, and you're going to be performing at the Grammys. So what can we expect? What can you tease?
What can I tease? This dress. I can't tell you much, but I tell you I'm going to do the best I can, and I'm going to bring that je ne sais quoi that I bring to my performances. I want to connect with these audiences, even though they won't be there live. They'll be, you know, watching from their screens, and I still want to make that connection with them. So I'm just going to be myself. I'm going to be emotional. I'm going to be vulnerable, and I'm going to be passionate about what I do.
Well, we are so excited. And the rock categories are nominated by female and female-led acts, which is so incredible to see. What was your reaction when you saw that?
Oh, it's about time. You know, as far as I'm concerned, the history goes like women created rock and roll. You know, rock and roll is all about marginalized people and them wanting to have a voice and to feel powerful and to be heard. And, you know, I can't think of a better group. So here we are. It's about time. I'm excited. I'm proud. Let's see what happens.
All right, last thing I have to ask you about is I love that you are obsessed with fly fishing. It's such a random hobby that you enjoy doing. I went one time, and how do you have the patience for it? Because I didn't catch any fish, and I was out there all day.
I think it's just because my phone doesn't really work wherever I'm at. And I don't know, that works for me. That gives me the bandwidth, I guess, to untangle those knots and to keep trying.
When's the last time you were fly fishing, and how many fish did you get?
Oh, I went fly fishing last month. I probably caught about like 20 or something. They're pretty nice. Yeah.
Thank you so much for talking with me, and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I mean, the things you find out, right? A little fly fishing, going to the Grammys. Like, it's a full life. It's a well-rounded life. I love it.
Oh, my goodness. Fly fishing sounds cool, but I'm scared. I'm scared the hook would end up somewhere it shouldn't be.
All right, let's move on to Miranda Lambert. She has been a country staple at the Grammys. She's earned 21 nominations throughout her career, including 3 this year alone. Love her.
Jeremy again, my friend here. He caught up with the singer and the newlywed backstage at the Grammys earlier this week as she prepared to take the stage for the big night.
In my sweat. Very excited to be joined by the amazing Miranda Lambert. How are you?
Good, how are you?
So good. Thank you for taking a few minutes with us. So 3 nominations, very exciting. What does it mean to you to be recognized in this way this year?
Well, this year it's nice to be recognized in any way because no one's been able to recognize anything because we've all been home. But
right.
It always means a lot to be involved in the Grammys and to be, you know, this is prestigious. This is the most important thing we could do as singer-songwriters is be here at the Grammys and have our art celebrated. So I'm very thankful. And
so everyone, of course, excited for your performance. What can you tell us about it?
The set is beautiful. I just got to see it in person. It is so girly and fresh and pretty. And, you know, my band and I haven't seen each other in a really long time. We've seen each other here and there, but we haven't played music together. So I feel like just us being together playing Bluebird, there's this energy that's just like, I guess it's gratitude more than anything. We're just thankful to be doing what we do.
That's so great. If you had to sum up the look and the feel of the set and all of that, what would the word be?
I'd say it's kind of peaceful vibe. It really makes you feel chill and good about life, and we all need that right now.
You're exactly right. We absolutely do. You know what? One thing that would bring me that on a regular basis is traveling around in an Airstream with the one I love, and it seems like you spent some time doing that, and it made me very jealous on the gram.
Well, thank you. I would be jealous too because I love it, and it's one of my favorite hobbies. And you know, when you travel for a living, sometimes you don't want to travel on your time off. So that was another positive thing about being forced to be off tour is I got to go see some things.
Yeah. What was it? If you could sum up the highlight of that trip with Brendan, what would it be? What was the one place that you went that you just loved?
We've done a couple of them, but I think Charleston. Charleston is such a beautiful city. We had a great time.
And what's on the top of the playlist when you're, you know, those long drives?
You know what we've been doing is the crime podcasts, and they'll really suck you in. Like 6 hours goes by like that.
That's exactly right. What is it about it? I don't know, but you can't stop, right?
You get stuck on the date lines, and then the drive is over.
And then, we're talking about this recently announced new album. It's called the Marfa Tapes, right?
Yes.
Can you explain the meaning behind it and what people can expect?
My friends John Randall and Jack Ingram are Texas buddies of mine, and we've been writing songs together for a long time and been friends for years. And we've been going to Marfa, Texas, just middle of nowhere, to write songs and disappear in the desert. And we wrote like 15 to 20 songs, and I wasn't sure where they would all land. And, it's all three of us singing them and just playing around the campfire. So we just took a microphone and a camera guy, Spencer, and our engineer, Brandon, and the five of us just went out into the desert and recorded these songs, one take around the fire. It was very, it's just very acoustic. It feels like you're sitting right there. You can hear the wind and the cows, and it's something different, and I think that's one thing that I'm thankful for is having a year off. I could sort of branch out and do different types of music and not just have to do my regular grind,
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about it.
It sounds like hearing you talk about it, the environment you were in really did contribute to the creative flow and kind of the inspiration. Talk to me about recording there and writing there versus in Nashville.
It's just got this, there's, for some reason, it's sort of it's a artist kind of hideout. It's become, they've shot a lot of movies there, and a lot of painters live there. There's art installations throughout the desert, but it's just kind of a little hidden secret. Well, not anymore, but it's just this vortex. I don't know, when you get out there, sort of like everything disappears and you just feel like you can let all the noise go away and sort of hear the songs that you have in you, and they sort of spilled out over the last 6 years, and we just wanted people to hear them.
I wonder, over the past year of the pandemic and quarantine and all of that, the number one thing you learned about yourself and the number one thing you learned about Brendan.
For the first 2 months, I learned every day wasn't Saturday. I ate like it was Saturday every day.
That's
for 2
right.
months.
Just a vague day, right?
That doesn't work. Learn that. Was like, okay, that's fine. Can't live on vacation. Someone get me back on the tour bus on the track.
Yeah.
And Brendan, I learned that he really can put up with me. So that was good news.
You learn a lot about yourself and your spouse, right? When you're in that kind of situation.
Yeah. We were pretty much newlyweds when we, we got married not that long ago. And so we really had a lot of togetherness.
Yeah. And that
but it was good. It was good. We got to really get to know each other. It was fun.
In that Airstream, who's like the messier of the two?
Well, it depends on if we have our dogs.
Oh,
it's a small
right.
space.
Yeah, right.
But definitely me. He's a clean freak.
Okay, well, good. All right, hey, it's a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for taking time, and congratulations again.
Oh, Miranda Lambert. She had me at the house that built me way back when.
Yeah. And by the way, that whole Airstream thing, you did a similar thing, like an RV trip all through the summer.
Did cross country,
a lot of people
Jersey
did
to
that.
California.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Well, moving on to another artist who has been to the Grammys party many, many times, R&B singer, songwriter Anthony Hamilton. He had me at his song Charlene way back when. Go listen to Charlene.
Oh, you're going all the way back, okay.
Going back. He's been nominated for 17 Grammys and took home a win in 2009 for Best Traditional R&B Vocal Performance.
Now, we've got Entertainment Weekly's senior editor, Jared Hall, back again. He caught up with Anthony backstage as he prepped for his performance at tonight's show. Check this out.
Joining me now is a Grammy winner, a 17-time Grammy nominee, a singer, a songwriter, an author. So excited to be speaking with Anthony Hamilton. How are you?
I am great, man. How are you doing today?
I am doing very well, thank you. So I got to start with, you have a new single. I think that I personally would love to hear about Mercy, featuring Tamika Mallory. This song starts with a really important spoken message. Tell me about that song and the emotions that went into the writing of that.
Well, with everything that happened in 2020, from the pandemic to the racial injustice and all of that, went into this song, and being a black man and having 6 black sons, it was a time of heavy hardness, and I wanted to write something that gave black men the strength and the okay to just not be okay, but still feel strong and supported. So Mercy was one of those songs, and I think having Tamika Mallory to set it up, this strong black figure in the black community, it allowed, people to see that we're still connected. It's almost like mother and father were setting it up, and for all those who needed that image and that to look forward to. I think it was very important to show that.
Yeah, well, it's very important, and I hope people are certainly checking it out. Also, I hope and think people are going to be checking out your performance. You're performing with Roddy Ricch, yes?
I'm here performing with my Carolina brother, and we're gonna represent Charlotte, North Carolina. We're gonna put some bop in it, and yeah, rock stars. We're gonna rock star it out. So the baby, Roddy Ricch, Anthony Hamilton.
Like I mentioned, 17-time Grammy nominee. You're a winner. I've got to know, like, what are your memories of Grammys past? What is a standout moment, one that you won't forget?
Wow, standout moment I won't forget. Rihanna. Oh
yes,
Nicky Echo and Rihanna's performance. I'm not far, maybe 3 rows back from the stage. It was just one of my favorite songs at that moment. So to see them perform that, it was incredible. And there was another one when Pink flew all over, dripping water all over me. I was like, how can I not remember that?
She's great anytime. Oh yeah, and I got to imagine when you won, that's one you don't forget too.
Well, that was a great one too. Yeah. I didn't want to talk about me. For the people.
No, of course.
But winning a Grammy, it was a real shocker. But I did it with Al Green, so it was, I didn't just win it for myself. I won it for my auntie and my grandmama and, Uncle June. So it was a neighborhood Grammy.
Anthony, congrats on the new song. Looking forward to hearing more from you, and have a great Grammys. Thanks so much.
I love he had dialed in with the hat. Got the look, right?
He always has that. I love him.
Yeah, all right. R&B singer Her has quickly become a Grammys mainstay, racking up 3 trophies and 13 nominations since she released her debut album. That was in 2017. She's already a winner tonight for Best R&B Song for Better Than I Imagined.
And she reps the Bay Area, so yes.
She does.
That's one of 3 nominations she received this year, including Song of the Year for her protest anthem, I Can't Breathe. Take a look at how she said the nation's response to the death of George Floyd last year compelled her to write new songs.
I didn't really think, I'm gonna write a song about this. It was actually me catching up with my friend who I write with a lot. She's like my big sister. And we were just having a conversation about everything going on. Like, isn't this crazy? Like, what can we do? And I just wish things would change. And we were saying all these things, and I had my guitar in my hands, and the song kind of just happened, and I started singing, I can't breathe, taking my life from me. I can't breathe, you're taking my life from me. And it all just came organically. It was easy to write because of everything that was just flowing. It was so much going on, and we shouldn't have to see these things. We shouldn't have to watch them, but it's good that it's being exposed, and that I think 2020 was a big eye-opener. I think we're suffocating as a people every day. There's a fear of being shot, or killed or accused of something that we didn't do. I don't know. I think it's just freedom is not living in fear. How do we judge off the color? The structure was made to make us the enemy. Fortunately, I was still able to be creative and do my thing and give people hope through music. So it makes me hopeful that if I can do that, then, it starts with us. I think it starts with us individually, and we've had a lot of eye-openers. Like I said, 2020 was a year of realizing a lot of things and seeing a lot of things and different personalities and people being exposed a little bit. What's crazy about music is music influences people, and it's like timestamps. It helps so much when it comes to history and explaining what's going on. People really listen to music. It's a language that everybody speaks. Music is literally what we go to. We go to it for everything. When we feel like falling in love, when we feel like learning something, when we work out, when we are sad, and music is always there.
So as an artist, I feel like I have a responsibility to use my creativity to express what's going on in today's times, you know, and kind of be like a Marvin Gaye or a Nina Simone and use my emotions and my creativity to educate people, to teach people, to start a movement, to help a movement. And yeah, it's important. It's very important.
All right, guys, time check here. We are officially less than 1 hour away. I think we should cheers it again. From music's biggest night, the 63rd annual Grammy Awards. We're excited for a lot. Beyonce, the big nominee of the night, of course. But we were talking about this before. There's so much talent emerging that even though she's got the most nominations, we haven't talked about her a ton leading up to the Grammys because we've been spending a lot of time.
I think it might have been just like an effective, of course, Beyonce.
Of course,
did you watch Black is King? Like, did you see any of that? So of course she's going to be heavily nominated. But yeah, like just to have her in the mix yet again. She already has like, I think 22 plus Grammys sitting somewhere. Where does she keep these things?
Well, that's everywhere. They're literally everywhere. Got a whole room probably.
One in the bathroom.
Yeah, like a whole wing dedicated to that. We've been talking about Jhené Aiko, who you love. It's like, I love that steamy music. Her steamy music.
Oh my goodness.
Gonna show up?
Go ahead. We were talking about Jhené Aiko's album and how it has just given us life. But she was kind of a slow burn artist. I've been saying this. Like she has put out great music back to back to back to back. But this is the first time she's really getting just a lot of the love from the Academy that she deserves. So I'm so excited to see her.
Harry Styles, that big opening show.
Yes, I'm sure. Olivia Wilde will be watching Harry Styles opening.
Chance. T Swift, Dua Lipa. We already talked to Dua Lipa a little earlier. Just huge, phenomenal year. So we're excited for that. And as we have been mentioning and saying as well, we expect that the performances are going to have a lot of heart, especially considering the year we've been through as a nation, as a world. But, you know, these artists are connected to the fans and the themes that the fans have and the feelings that they've gone through, through a tremendous loss. And also like that we're kind of excited to hopefully see things turn for the better.
And it's a little different than some of the award shows that we've seen. It's not all pre-recorded. Like they're really going to be hitting these stages. So we're going to be seeing live music en masse for the first time that we have.
Can't wait to see these guys live at some point. The Grammys, they were quick to take notice of Black Pumas, a band known for their unique sound. And last year, they received a Best New Artist nomination. Now the duo's up for 3 trophies, including Record of the Year, as well as Album of the Year for their self-titled debut collection.
Yeah, co-host of the People TV show, Kay Adams, chatted with the band about how their success has surpassed all of their expectations.
Joined now by Black Pumas, nominated for 3 Grammys this year. Adrian, tell us about the moment you found out that you were nominated. What was that morning like?
We were eating breakfast at a Mexican restaurant, and I was kind of like getting a lot of texts about it and watching it. And then I finally told my wife, she was like, we have to get the laptop and stream this. What are you doing? And I was like, no, I'm fine. I'll just find out through text. She was like, what are you talking about, So she got the laptop out, and we started watching it from there. But I mean, it was incredible because the build-up, you know, we got 1 nomination and obviously had a little celebration and kind of go through all the emotions, but then another couple more come, and it's just like this kind of wild roller coaster ride.
I didn't make it a big deal myself that I wasn't expecting to be nominated once, let alone 3 times.
Hey, Grandma, I'm nominated for 3 Grammys this year. Wow!
So yeah, I definitely called my uncle, and that he's been my inspiration and kind of songwriting coach since I started writing. So yeah, it was amazing.
Black Pumas nominated for not 1, not 2, but 3 Grammys. 2 of them, by the way, the big awards, Album and Record of the Year, the major categories. Adrian, let's start with you. How big of a deal is that for you personally?
Oh, it's massive. You know, it's almost kind of hard to believe and take in. Sometimes I have to pinch myself every once in a while that we're in this situation, but it feels good. You know, it feels good because we work hard and we like that people are actually connecting with the music.
I mean, I'm still just pinching myself just the same. You know, my family is very proud and, you know, grew up in and around Hollywood, and so it just feels like a coming home, so to speak. So I'm quite taken, you know, by the opportunity to be a part of the conversation.
When you look, Adrian, at even just Best Album, Dua Lipa, Coldplay, what have you learned about just the worldview of music, knowing that you have a place with this sound that you two created in that mix of those top-tier blockbuster talents?
I try not to think about it, but every once in a while, I think I remind myself, like, it's okay to feel good about that. You know, I'm always like thinking that like it's all fleeting. And, you know, honestly, like Eric said, we'd be making music no matter what, but it's okay, I think, to remind yourself that we created something special and that we're part of the conversation with acts like that resonate with so many people around the world. So it's pretty amazing.
You had a premonition that things would take off quite quickly for the Black Pumas, and that ended up being true. Is this what you expected?
I expected it to take off quickly. This has surpassed my expectations. Every once in a while, Eric will be like, hey, you know, I'm like, oh, we're way beyond what I told you I thought was gonna happen, you know, because I mean, I could feel it early on. I could feel a lot of buzz and synergy between Eric and I musically, but this is surpassed. We're in the whole other stratosphere right now.
I knew that it was a unique sound and that it would work quite well. As soon as I heard the initial tracks sent to me by Adrian, he worked up these really beautiful instrumentals for me to write songs on. And once I was able to finish a few of them that we recorded at the studio, I knew that it would be a really cool thing, especially that Adrian was open to hearing songs from me, you know, where the music started for me as well. And to see those things, to see us come together like a glove to hand, it felt like we were going to at least be able to continue to do it, whether we were nominated for Grammys or not.
Amazing. Good luck at the Grammys, guys. Have fun. Enjoy it.
Love those guys. And
Go Black Pumas.
I love that it feels like we could just be hanging out with them. And
Yeah.
they're super low key, right?
Yeah, they're like, wait, what? I got a Grammy?
Love and life. Next up, we got a bit of a Grammys love story here. Singer-songwriters Julia Michaels and JP Saxe are up for Song of the Year for their emotional duet, If the World Was Ending, which you cannot get out of your head. Not that you would want to.
They started dating after writing the ballad together, and now fans and critics alike can't get enough of their sizzling chemistry.
Yeah, so JP talked to us about the moment when everything came together to create this song. Watch.
You know, sometimes there's just this critical mass of serendipity, emotion, and connection where, you know, the lyric was something that I had had in my journal forever. I had written If the World Was Ending, You'd Come Over Right as the chorus for a different song, but that didn't fit that song a year and a half earlier. That didn't really fit that song. I found that often my next song comes as a failed attempt at finishing my last one, which I think is a nice metaphor. So it just sat in my journal. I didn't know what to do with it until that earthquake reminded me of it. And then it happened to be right before the session with Julia. And then Julia had been at a concert during the earthquake and had all these thoughts about that. And just sort of a lot of things have to go right to arrive at those 2 hours where it just comes together.
But if the world was ending, you'd come over, right? You'd come over and you'd stay the night.
I think people forget that it felt a little bit like the world was ending before 2020 also. Yeah, when we wrote the song, we were thinking about a hypothetical catastrophe, making all of the things that get in the way of love just seem no longer relevant. Of course, we did not anticipate just how not hypothetical that would become 6-7 months later. But, you know, I think the song sort of latched on to people's better angels amongst a really, you know, terrifying moment for all of us. And it brought me a lot of joy seeing the way that song connected to the parts of people that wanted to put love first when everything seemed like it was going to crap.
I know, you know, we weren't meant for each other and it's fine.
I did not anticipate that I would walk in to Westlake Studios on Beverly Boulevard on a Sunday and both find the love of my life and my first really big song.
If the world was ending, you come over right. You come over, you come over, you come over right.
My grandfather had won a Grammy. He won the Grammy for Best Solo Instrumental Classical Album in 1997 for his recording of the Bach Cello Suites. So to fast forward 20 plus years and having that moment myself was pretty surreal, pretty lifetime full circle. Made me feel really connected to my mom and grandfather because I could hear them screaming in my head. Yeah, it was extremely special.
What a great moment for JP as a first-time nominee. I have to say, I think they got a lot of exes back together with that song.
I think you're exactly right. Like the breakup song or the reconnection song of the pandemic. This is Julia's third nomination. She had 2 nods back in 2018 for Song of the Year and Best New Artist.
She also told us about their experience making the track and how the collaboration came about.
I was a fan of JP, and I actually I DM'd him because I was like, hey, I would love to write with you. And then we finally got the chance to, and this was the first song we ever wrote together. It was just him and I at the piano. He was like, I have this idea that I've been saving for you. And he was like, I want to write a song where it's like, if the world was ending, you'd come over, right? And basically just from there, it just sort of flowed out.
But if the world was ending, you come over, right? You come over and you stay the night.
We were talking about the earthquakes in LA, and we were talking about is getting in a petty fight with somebody, is that a reason not to talk to somebody in a time when, things are going really bad? And that was basically when we wrote it, sort of the whole premise of the song. And then we put it out, and then it was a really remarkable situation. Writing for me and just music in general to me has always been a very intimate thing. It's why you've never really seen my songwriting. It's why I've never had cameras in the room. You've never seen me in the studio, is because I don't like cameras in the studio. If I have a camera, I'm the one that has it. I don't like. It's a very intimate thing for me, and it's a very intimate thing for artists and songwriters. And, we talk about a lot of really deep things and personal things. And that has always been a really safe space for me, being in the studio and singing for me. And I knew the song was special, but I didn't know that it would do what it did. And I'm so grateful that it has, because it's been a really special journey.
If the world was ending, you come over, right? You come over, right? You come over, you come over, you come over, right?
I feel like, Song of the Year is it's sort of all encompassing. It's, it's about the words, and it's about just the song as a whole. And just being nominated for a song that I wrote with somebody that I love, and the Recording Academy taking in those words and thinking that they're good enough to be nominated it's special to me, because I've been a songwriter my whole life. I don't have words. It's amazing.
Really means a lot, and you can tell.
I love
Let's
her.
move on to this. The Haim sisters. They are making their return to the Grammys tonight. Esty, Danielle, and Alana were first nominated back in 2015 for Best New Artist. Now they are up for the evening's biggest honor, Album of the Year. Huge.
Yep. The sisters delayed the release of their latest album, Women in Music Part 3, due to the pandemic, and now they're opening up about how working as a family informs their music.
I think for this album, it was more just whatever sounds good, keep it, and let's move along. And it made it almost more just exciting, I think. So everything that's been happening with the album's just been shocking and so surprising.
I think we really, funny enough, made this record thinking that we would tour it for a very long time. I think while we were making it, we were getting really excited about planning our new show and going on tour and really just hitting the road as soon as we put it out. And unfortunately, that didn't happen, which was really sad. And I think we're all still kind of going through playing shows and the sadness that comes from just not being able to tour. But I think it also made us excited, because I do know when it's safe enough to go on tour and play shows, I feel like everyone's going to be so excited to go to shows.
I don't think that we've ever really, quote unquote, taken a break from being creative. I think that it's definitely a muscle that you have to flex every day in order to you got to keep your tools sharp.
Because we're sisters and we're family, it's so easy to trust who you're working with. And it just felt like a big, crazy family making this record. And now that it's done, it still feels like crazy that it's out. I don't know, even though it's been out for a while now, but it does feel crazy that people have been listening to it.
Every time I think that I've been taking the steps, you end up mad at me for making a mess.
When we started our band, we considered ourselves a live band before anything else. Like, we always loved playing live. Like, we would play any venue, including parking lots, and open up for anybody under the sun. And I think touring is a huge part of our hearts, and I think not being able to do that it's heartbreaking. And I think honestly, like, we're waiting by the phone to be like, for someone to be like, hey, touring is happening, and then I'll play any place, no matter what.
I think the thing for us, I mean, maybe this might just be me, but I think that the thing that always drew us to being able to perform is that you kind of get to become almost like the 2.0 version of yourself when you're on stage. And I think I'm pretty great now, but I'm even better when I'm on stage performing in front of people, and I feel the best about myself and just in my body. I think I genuinely just love performing.
We love being in a band. It's a very powerful thing being in a band. Like, it feels like a very powerful thing. And being women, I mean, we just want to keep going and keep making music and not stopping.
And every day I wake up and I make money for myself, and always share, but you know that I don't need your help.
There's always been women in rock, and kind of, yeah, a bummer that maybe they weren't necessarily recognized in that category before, at least not, many, maybe one every year. So it feels like it's cool. It's cool. And I mean, all the women nominated are amazing and incredible. I can't believe we're in the same category as the other women. And yeah, it's cool.
So incredible. Glad they're getting the attention they're getting. Tonight, we're also keeping an eye on country singer Ingrid Andress.
She received 3 Grammy nods, including the coveted Best New Artist trophy and Best Country Album. She's even tied with Miranda Lambert for the most nominations of any country artist this year.
Excited for this category. The veteran songwriter waited years to release her own material. She told us why now was finally the right time to put it all out.
We put the album out anyway, even though I wasn't able to tour it, because I was like, you know what? Music is the one thing we still have, even in a pandemic. So let's just put it out. And I wasn't expecting anything crazy because I'm still super new, and touring is what helps people get to know who you are. So the fact that people related to the album so much was like probably the best part of my year, of just seeing people, even though we didn't get to see each other in person, just connect to the stories and make us all realize that we're more alike than what we did.
You play the stranger, I'll play the girl at the bar.
I signed a deal when I knew who I was as a person and knew what I wanted to say, and didn't let anybody tell me what I could or couldn't do. So to me, I'm very thankful, because for me, it's never been about like being famous. To me, it's like, are the songs good? Are the stories true? Can people relate to them? If you had told me this when I signed 2 years ago, I would have been like, nah, you're lying. So it's pretty crazy. The day that they were announcing the Grammys, I was just going about my normal daily routine of like doing nothing, watering my plants. And so, yeah, I watched the live stream not thinking, I thought maybe country song, but probably not, because I'm still brand new. So the fact that that happened, I was like, whoa, like that made my year like even weirder. Like 2020 was my year, said nobody ever, except for me.
I'm a lady like, whoa, I could bring you to your knees and get you kicked out the Garden of Eden.
So it just like, to be honest, like I've watched the Grammys for a very long time. So the fact that I'll even be able to be a part of it is still pretty mind-blowing. I just have always appreciated their quality of what they hold everybody to. And I love that, there's room for all different types of expression and art. And that to me has been really cool to be a part of, because yes, I obviously love country music, but there is something about just appreciating just the craftsmanship of music and getting to celebrate that with a bunch of other talented people who are just as passionate about what they're doing as you are. And you don't always get to be in a room like that. In fact, most of the time you don't get to be in a room like that. So to me, that's kind of what I've been looking forward to about it the most and what makes it so special.
Love her music, can't get
Yeah.
enough. Thank you guys so much for watching. Can you believe it? Flew
Thank
by.
you.
We're
I
getting
know.
there. Final
My
thoughts.
goodness.
Final thoughts.
Oh goodness, I'm excited for all the rap, hip hop, R&B. I mean, Megan Thee Stallion, DaBaby performing.
Baby, Trevor Noah.
Trevor Noah. Let's
Hosting.
talk about the host. Okay.
Yep, so good. Also, we talked to DaBaby earlier. You guys watch. He's got the best date ever. His
Yes.
mom is with him. They are having fun. They are looking
So
good.
cute. She's the lady in red. Just you can spot her.
Yeah, spot her on the thing there. Thank you so much for watching tonight.
Thank you so much for watching, and head over to CBS to see who wins big at this year's Grammy Awards.
All right.
Night, you
Good
guys.
night. Cheers. Woo!